Hey, beats to it.
You did.
Good afternoon, everybody. He's speechless.
I was getting ready to say hello, and she just jumped right in there. But
Surprise!
yeah, surprise. You're always full of surprises.
I am. It's Thursday, 1 o'clock. Opposite Saxes
It is.
time.
Yep, and we've been very, very happy with the response that we've gotten, especially lately. A lot of people are saying we really do enjoy your show, and we look forward to it. We don't always catch it right at 1 o'clock on
You
Thursdays,
don't have to.
but because you're on so many different platforms, like YouTube and Spotify and Anchor, TikTok. We're everywhere.
We are.
And so people say we catch you sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening, but we don't care when you catch us, just catch us.
Do you know that I have something going on in my head?
You have something growing out, you have a symbol growing
Yeah,
out of your head.
yes, I do.
And I always forget, is it the male symbol or the female symbol? I think you're the female symbol and I'm the male symbol. Is that right? I
don't know.
forget.
Who cares?
That's why we put both of them up there, because
That's right. We don't.
it's
We're not.
they're opposite sexes,
Nah, we don't care.
right?
So, what you got going on?
I thought of the topic of what we can't live without.
Oh my
And
God! Can I start my list
other than
now?
the obvious, which is each other
And our
Yeah.
children.
and our children, yeah. But you got a list. You start at the top and you work your way down.
I
Right.
mean, yeah, what can't you live without? My gosh, it's like it's never ending.
It's interesting to think about it. What could you live without? There was one. It was like a challenge question that said, if you had to live without one of your five senses, which one would it be? I think there's the sense of sight,
Mhm.
there's a sense of
Smell.
hearing, smell, taste,
And touch.
and touch. So which of the senses do you think you could successfully live without?
Taste.
That was going to be the one I would pick.
Yeah.
And I guess we've got experience on that one, because my sister, no, I'm sorry, my sister has no sense of smell.
Correct.
Right. She lost
That's
her
correct.
sense of smell many, many, many years ago in an accident, which, because she doesn't have a sense of smell, she can eat almost anything. No matter how
But no, but it has to do with her taste because
sensory.
yeah, and she needs spicy foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think, to a certain degree, because if you couldn't taste anything, then that means anything that you put in your mouth, you wouldn't know whether it's tasted good or it didn't taste good. So maybe that wouldn't be a sense
That would be mine.
to do
I
without.
could always lose a little weight, but
Yeah, except then if you went into a restaurant and you wanted to get that filet mignon that costs $46 or something, are you going to say to yourself, well, how would I know whether it was worth $46?
well, usually anyway, I'm very picky eater and I don't usually require a lot. So to me, I think for me, that would be the one thing. I mean, the thought of not being able to touch,
To touch
to
something
you, anything else to feel something. I
that,
don't
well,
know.
you would still touch it, but you wouldn't get a sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't get
a sense of it, which
anything.
means
And
if you touch something that was hot, you wouldn't necessarily know
Right.
it. Maybe like my sister, the sense of smell, because I mean,
Maybe.
granted, you wouldn't be able to smell the sweet smell of a rose, but also if there was something that really stunk out there, you wouldn't know that either.
The only thing is, and your sister reminds us about it, is it's very important then to have everything you need in the house working correctly, because if there's a fire, she's not gonna smell the smoke.
Right. Well, but
And so everything needs to be working.
yeah, but I think they've got
detector.
updates too, because now, although if there was some smoke or whatever and it set off a smoke alarm, if she had her hearing sense, you would hear a sound go off.
Yes.
People
Oh,
that
yeah, but
people
it
that are
has to
hard
do
of
with-
hearing or deaf,
Right.
they have to have flashing lights to replace the fact that they can't. That they
So
can't hear.
you would be okay without a
Yeah,
smeller.
yeah, because I think I've smelled pretty much everything there was to smell. So far, so if I didn't smell it again, I don't know if I'd miss it.
What if you couldn't smell yourself and you stunk?
You would tell me, because you lost your sense of taste. And I would say to you, go ahead, finish your steak because it's delicious.
I can
That-
always count on you, honey.
Well, that's why opposite sexes would help each other. We wouldn't want to pick the
The same
same
thing.
sensory
That's true.
to sense to lose. But that was a good question.
It was a
I
good
think.
question. Well, you got any more?
Well, I mean, just stop and think about the world around you. I mean, we probably couldn't live without some kind of air conditioning, especially in the summer
Mhm.
months. It would be
That and
very,
heat.
very difficult to that, or heat in the winter time. It would be
Mhm.
very, very difficult. Granted, in the winter time, if you didn't have the heat, you could put on 3 more layers and a
Yes.
parka and gloves and all, and
Yeah.
and stay warm. The
Right.
summer is a little bit different.
Trickier.
If the air conditioning goes out, it's brutal, you know.
Well, you hope you'd have a fan.
Well, you have a fan or have a pool in your community, and you just go down the community
And you stay
pool
there.
and you stay up to your neck in water. You know, or you go out in the backyard and you turn on the sprinkler and sit in that for a while.
And what about water? All those
That-
people, even in the United States, that have very poor drinking water. And I mean,
That's the
you
one.
need
Yeah,
water to live.
it's the one commodity that you can go. I think there's studies that show that you could go several days without food,
Good, but if
but
you need
but
the
not water.
Right.
The dehydration it would
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
you know
Critical. That's bad.
yeah. So
And good water, good drinking water.
well, but even
I mean,
Even
it's
if-
something in the stream, I guess
if you
have
had
water
to consume tap water, which has been treated and everything, you probably could. We get
Yeah,
spoiled by
yeah.
having purified spring water
Mhm.
or purified drinking water, and we
Mm-hmm.
like that. But you could get by if you took fresh water out of a stream
Mhm.
or drank it out of the faucet. I mean, as kids, we used to get it out of the hose in the
Right,
backyard.
that's correct.
And we all
You've lived to tell the
we all
tale.
lived through it. And
Yeah,
nothing ever happened to us from drinking out of the hose.
very clever, honey. Clever.
But,
Okay, what
you
else
know,
do we need?
Well, I mean, things that we couldn't live without. Could you live very well without a car? I mean, if you were so curtailed that you either lost your license or maybe
You would learn to live. You would meet somebody, you would pay them a little bit to take you someplace.
you'd learn how to
You
call
would learn
Uber.
how to cope. You would learn how to cope. What about a phone?
Yeah. Be very,
That I
very
think more of that than God forbid something's wrong.
the ability to communicate
Yeah,
with other people.
yeah.
No, you're right. That would probably be something, and also, I think it's fair to say that we wouldn't be able to cope very well if we didn't have medical care.
Mhm.
Uh, and unfortunately, there is a certain segment of our population
That
that
doesn't.
sometimes the cost of their medical care, their medical expenses, drug expenses, and it's a choice of, do I medicate myself or do I eat?
Right, that's correct.
And so you kind of say to yourself, well, I can't live without food, but I also can't live without my
My
medication.
It's tough. Yeah.
I think, and it'd be hard to live without the sunshine.
Some people physically need it.
Well, you kind of makes your day when you can
but-
go outside, and when there is no lot of wind or rain, or so you need all of those things, and you really couldn't do without any of them. Maybe if you were to go months and months and months without any wind, breezes, you could survive. But rain, we've all gone through drought times,
yeah,
and just watched what it does to the grass, to the crops, to the your gardens. And going without rain can be detrimental, because that also is like a domino effect.
sure.
It lowers the water tables in the lakes and the rivers and
Right,
everything,
so you need
which
that for
flow in order to give us the water that we need
Right,
to irrigate, and also,
right.
that too, without rain, very, very important. Sunshine,
So-
very important.
Sunshine is, but I put that farther down, because you could go outside and just get the rays or the clouds, something.
Yeah, but what do the crops need to grow?
Yeah,
They need the
they need
sunshine.
sun. But if you have lights and you may have crops growing in a greenhouse,
Hydroponics.
yeah, I mean, if you had to
Yeah.
do that,
No?
then that's what you'd
That-
have to do.
And there's probably a lot more of that going on. Our artificial ways of doing the things that we've done. Look, we're moving into a society now where we're relying less on fossil fuels and going more towards electric sources.
Yeah.
Doing solar panels on
Correct.
the homes instead of using other sources of electricity. It's a constant evolvement of things that we are doing, and it's because we either can't do without the previous source, or the previous source is getting so expensive, we're looking
okay.
to alternative
Alternatives,
ways
yeah.
to cut those costs.
Yeah. But sometimes the alternatives are too expensive or not practical. It's catch as catch can. It's hard. I'm trying to think what else
Boy, when you said the phone, I kept thinking about that. How we are so tied to our phones, because our phones, you could almost do without a computer, because your phone is actually a small
Oh, yes,
computer.
well,
You would be able to connect.
but I didn't necessarily mean like an iPhone. I mean, just a phone to call the police, to call the fire department, to call a neighbor if you're sick.
But
anybody.
that's what that mobile device that we all
But
have.
maybe somebody can't afford that, and they can only afford the old fashioned rotary or push button phone. That.
Well, now wait a minute. I'm glad you brought that up, because we still have a landline. And the landline with our carrier is running about $20 some a month. You can get, I think it's Jitterbug or something like
Yes.
that, for $15
That's
or
for
$20 a month. You can get a
Seniors.
simple flip phone that allows you to call. It allows you to do a lot
But
of
it's not
things.
gonna necessarily come up with the headlines. It's a basic cell phone.
Yeah.
For seniors.
But you can use your phone to call a service that will give you the headlines, or
Never heard of that.
you ask Alexa or Siri, what's the news of the day?
You probably could do that. You probably could.
Where there is a will, there is a
No
way.
way. Yeah,
That's an old phrase, but it's an appropriate one.
it is. But yeah, I mean, when you think about it, there's lots of things that we can't live without. Although we've also become a very dependent society, and I think we're a very lucky, affluent society.
Well, I think we're also kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? A selfish society
Well,
too.
that's true too.
We just figure that all of these things that we have, we're entitled to.
I want it, and I want it all.
And I
That's
want
what
it
we're
now.
Yeah.
So
That's what we've become. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, if you had to put down all of the things that you require on a daily basis,
Mhm.
and then go through and somebody said, you must eliminate half of them,
Good luck.
that would be a
It
challenge,
really would be.
you know?
Because we've come so far as a society, the thought of going back, it's not a pleasant one.
you think that there are societies out there that, for instance, when you talk about water,
They have
they
none.
use the water to wash themselves,
Mhm.
to wash their dishes, to
Mhm.
wash their clothes, to wash their bodies, all with the same water.
And it's not coming into a house. They
Right.
have to go and get it in a bucket.
Right, and we just take it for granted that you turn on
Right.
the spigot and
Right.
there's your water.
That's right. And they have no
And you-
heating and air
If you want it
conditioning.
cold, you put some ice in it. You want it hot, you put it in the microwave.
They may have a phone, but they may not have heating or air conditioning.
That's right.
Well,
The one thing you
Interesting.
got is us every Thursday at 1 o'clock in
you.
the afternoon. And I hope that that's something that you can't live without. Because we can't. So go off and make it a good
Have a
day.
good week.
I can't live without you.
I can't live without you either, honey.
Bye.
Bye.